Hey guys, this is Brownie Boy TV here with your LBA Power Rankings number 1. These Power Rankings are going to be following the Round 1 and Round 2 matches, and these Power Rankings are going to be rankings the team 1 to 24 from both divisions, just combining them. So it's clearly just like my personal opinion based upon the team power, like the teams that they drafted, their battling style, just their overall plays, and people they've beaten, the scores, and stuff like that. So I'm going to take all that into account and just rank the teams on how I think that they are just set up so far. So let's get into this. In first place, we've got the Los Angeles Nato Kings, who's JJG Hernandez. He's in the Alpha Division. JJ's just battled really well so far. He's got a really powerful team. I picked him as the powerhouse for the Alpha Division this season in our pre-season overview, and he has a 3-0 win against Green Scrap Gear, the Detroit Spencers, which is Rudy. Solid win. He just battled really well. He knew what he's gonna. He knew his game plan going into the game, and Rudy had the Blissey Infernate core, or Blissey's Gliscor core, and to counter that, he brought an HP Ice Infernate, which is just solid homework. And then he had a 6-0 win. It wasn't really a sweep against the New Jersey Magnums, such as Bryle. He just outplayed him the entire game. He has a stronger team, in my opinion. Bryle didn't draft all that well, so he just was able to pick up the 6-0 win. And his MVP for the season so far is Gyarados with 8 points. The kill system, or the point system that we use, is for every kill they get 3 points. For every death you get -1. So he's got 3 kills and 1 death at this point. You can see he's 2-0 with the +9 differential. In second place, we have the Portland Timbers, and I'm the coach of the Portland Timbers at Brownie Boy TV. I'm in the Omega Division. In the first round, I had a 5-0 win against the Jubel Relicants, which is Nasser or Nasri. The second round, I had a 2-0 win over the Surrey Litheo, who's Matt or Tipster Jones. He's the champion from the last season of the LBA. We had a great battle altogether. That battle will be uploaded on the channel at some point soon, because that's going to be the round 2 battle of the week. In upcoming matches, I've got Baltimore Bishops, which is Riley, and I've got Shielded Ages, which is Kira. So far, team MVP is Volcarona with 15 points, which is 5 kills. Records 2-0, differentials +7. In third place, we have the California Keracostas, whose coach is Texto or Elijah. Texto had picked up a solid win against Kira in the first round with a 4-0 win. In the second round, he beat the Pori Arcanines, which is Nuclear Android. He was a fantastic battle. Everyone knows it. Texto knew it going in, and it was a little hacks in the battle, but altogether I think that evened out pretty well. There was Focus Blast miss on the last turn, which is the reason why Texto won, but in the battle there was a first turn Scald Burn for Grail or Pori Arcanine, so I felt like altogether battle evened out. Coming up, he's got the New Orleans Chuckles, which is Ryan, and Toronto Cheetars, which is Jabani. His team MVP so far is Crawdont with 11 points. Crawdont had like a little mini sweep against Kira, so that's where he got his 11 points from. His record so far is 2-0, and he has a +5 differential. Coming in fourth place in the power rankings is the Wolshions, or Freedom Eon. He's in the Alpha Division. In his first battle, he battled the Rayota Rhydons, who's Do Justice, and he had a nice 2-0 win. Do Justice does his homework. He knows how to build teams. He knows how to counter team. And Freedom Eon just out-counter teamed him, outplayed him. It was a great battle. In the second match, he had a 1-0 win against Florida for Alligators, which is Jody. And they had a really good battle. Ended up a huge stall war in the middle of it. It was Porygon 2 against Umbreon. Umbreon couldn't do anything but foul play and wish. And Porygon couldn't do anything other than recover and discharge or ice beam. So it's a pretty big stall war there. But altogether, it was a good battle. Obviously, it was a great battle, but it just ended up being a stall war. So coming up next, he's got the Detroit Pincers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Rudy and Bogut, both great battlers, so those should be great matches to watch. His team MVP so far is Talonflame with 11 points. He's a record of 2-0, a differential of +3. In fifth place, we have the Tennessee Raichus and Shadow Chew 36. Raheen, he's a great battler. He knows what he's doing. He's in the Alpha Division. He's our first team to come into the power rankings with a loss so far, and the reason that I have a rank so high is in his first battle he battled Bryle. He had a solid 3-0-1, and in his second battle he battled Corey, and he actually beat Corey 4-0, but he broke the Mega Evolution Clause in our league, and because of that he forfeited. The Mega Evolution Clause, the way it works is that since teams can draft both the Mega Pokemon and the non-Mega version, so he's got Mega Gardevoir, and I believe that somebody else in Alpha Division has Gardevoir. So the reason that we have a Mega Evolution Clause is that if somebody has the Mega Evolution Pokemon and they don't use the Mega Evolution Pokemon, then they're cheating because that's not who they drafted. But so you just have to Mega Evolve your Pokemon by the end of the battle if you use it for a full turn. So like if you swap it in and it gets Oach-Code, then it's not, you don't fall under that. And if you like first turn you like attack with him and you don't mega him and then you swap him out and then you win the game, that's a forfeit because there's no way to prove what item you had on him. So that's why we had the Mega Evolution clause, and everybody knows it. It's in the rules. It's been in the rules since season 1. Shadow just forgot. He told me he forgot, and he like felt bad, and he felt bad about like he didn't want to take the win obviously because he cheated essentially, but he I left it up to Corey, and Corey he like didn't want to take the win like that, and he left it to a coin flip, and it just turned out he just ended up taking the win. So that's why I've got Shadow rated above Corey actually, because I believe that Shadow could beat Corey if they battled again in the playoffs or anything like that. It's just he's 1-on-1 and he has that forfeit of loss. He has to make up for that now. Coming up, he's got Toronto Star Raptors, which is Sam, San Antonio Shinx, which is Chris. Both great battlers. Those good should be really interesting battles. His team MVP so far is Hariyama with 9 points, and his record's 1-1 with a 0 differential. Coming in 6th place, we have Corey, actually Milan. He in his first battle, he had a solid 6-0 win against San Francisco Darker Eyes. He just had a Sharpedo set up, and he just ran train. It was pretty brutal. And then the second round battle, we just went over that. Upcoming, he's got JJD Hernandez or the LA Nato Kings, and that's going to be really, really a good battle to watch. I can't wait for that one. We got the first team in the power rankings and the 6th team going against each other, so that'll be sweet to watch. And then round 4, we got Rayo to Rhydons, do justice. So Corey's got a tough little stretch of games coming up here. Team MVP so far, Sharpedo, after that just vicious sweep. And then his record's 2-0, and his differential is +9. In 7th place, we have the Surrey Litheo, or at Tipster Jones. He's in the Omega division. He played his first match, which was against Kelly, or Under the Radar YouTube, and he had a just solid 2-0 win. Both battlers like knew what they were doing. Obviously, they're both good battlers going into the battle, and Matt just outplayed him and he won the battle. So it was a good battle to watch. And then the second round, I battled him, and we had a great back and forth battle. Came right down to the wire. I had a 2-0, but I had a Mammoth Swine who would have died from Toxic if he had to stay in it for another turn at all. So really, really close battle. In the upcoming match, we've got, Matt's got Jello, his St. Louis Rampardos, so that'll be a good match to watch. And round 4, he's got the Jabel Relicants, which is Nasser and Nazari, so that's another good match that I can't wait to watch. Team MVP so far is Crobat with 11 points, and his record's 1-1 with a 0 differential. In 8th place, we have the Florida for Alligators, or Jody AMP. He's in the Alpha Division. In his first match, he played the San Antonio Shinx, and he had a great win against Chris. It was a little hacksy. He brought a Scarf Togekiss, and he wasn't fishing for hacks, but Scarf Togekiss with Air Slash, Serene Grace, you're going to get some flinches, and he just got flinch after flinch after flinch. So that's why I ended up winning 3-0. I think that ultimately Jody could have won the battle, but the hacks definitely did help him. And then his round 2, he lost 1-0 to the Walshians of Free to Be On, and there was some hacks in that game, like crits for both sides, mainly for Jody, I'd say. And then on the last turn, Porygon 2 against Talonflame. Talonflame ended up getting Brave Bird off, and Porygon 2 survived it, but then got paralyzed. He got pair hacks and couldn't move for the last turn, so then he got hit by another Brave Bird and ended up losing like that. So altogether, it was a pretty good battle, but I just, like, Jody could have won it, Wilson could have won it. It was some hacks, but altogether it was a really good battle. Upcoming, Jody's got the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sandrew Bogut. He's a really good battler. Jody knows that. Bogut knows Jody's a really good battler, so that'll be fun to watch. And then the 4th round has got the San Francisco Dark Eyes. Jody's team MVP so far is Togekiss with 11 points. His record's 1-1 with a differential of +2. In 9th place with the Pori Arcanines are at Nuclear Androids in the Omega division. His first round win was a solid, just 3-0, nice clean win against Ryan in the New Orleans Chuckles. And then in the second round, he had a pretty, I'd say, upset of the season so far, just from my background knowledge of teams. Just because Nuclear is a really good battler, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Texto, because I knew that coming in that he's definitely improved from when I'd watched him previously, but I just couldn't believe that one of the top dogs from last season already went down to a newcomer, so that was really cool to see. So I definitely think the Nuclear is going to bounce back after that. In round 3, he's got Chuchu, or the Chicago Flareons, and he's got, in round 4, the Baltimore Braviaries, or Kelly, and Under the Radar. So I think the Nuclear is going to bounce back, and those guys should better probably watch out, because I know he's going to be coming back with a vengeance. His team MVP so far is Metagross with 15 points, and his record's 1-1 with a +2 differential. In 10th place with the San Antonio Shinx, or at Son of Dragon 17, which is Chris. He's in the Alpha Division. His first round loss, I just explained that, it was against Jody because the Togekiss hacks. And then the second round, he had a great win for him. He beat Bogut. Last season, he battled Bogut and he lost early, and it just like kind of knocked the wind out of sails a little bit. But I think that he knows now that he has definitely improved. He's a great battler, and that he can definitely improve, like, and work up on, or just keep the momentum going following that win. In round 3, he's got the San Francisco Darkrai's, and then in round 4, he's got the Tennessee Raichus. So I think Chris knows that he is definitely improved, and he's got a good team, so he can definitely do some damage this season in the Alpha Division and probably in the playoffs. His team MVP so far is Greninja with 11 points. His record's 1-1 with a differential of -1. In 11th place, we have the Rhyhornidons, or I Do Justice. Ab, he's in the Alpha Division, and he's played 2 games so far, just like everybody else. His first match, he lost to Freedom Yon, the Welchions. It's a good battle, just both went back and forth. Ab knows what he's doing. He just couldn't seal the deal. He lost 2-0 in the first one. In round 2, he had a 3-0 win against Detroit Pincers, or Rudy, Green Scrafty. Great win for him. In round 3, he's got Bryle coming up, who's the New Jersey Magnums, and round 4 he's got Cordy, so that'll be a really good match to watch in round 4. Team MVP so far for him is Dragonite with 14 points. His record's 1-1 with a differential of +1. In 12th place, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, who is owned by Sandshrew Bogut. Bogut's a great battler. He's in the Alpha Division. In his first round match, he had a pretty good win against Sam, or the Toronto Star Raptors. Altogether, Sam played really well in the beginning, and it looked like Sam had the momentum, and then Bogut brought in his Bisharp, and his Bisharp was a sub SD set, and Sam just couldn't counter it. He got behind a sub, and he was just able to just pretty much run through the team from there. In his second round loss, Chris just played a really good battle. Little bit of hacks, but I think altogether it was just a really, really good battle. I'd say Chris outplayed him and deserved the win, but Bogut is a great battler. I know that he'll bounce back from this, and he's going to be pushed, like he's going to want to go forward, but he does have a tough string of matches coming up. As you can see, in round 3, he's got the Footer for Alligators, which is Jody. In round 4, he's got the Welchions, which is Freedom Yon. So he's got a really, really tough stretch of games right there. His team MVP so far is Bisharp with 15 points. His record's 1-1. His differential is 0. In 13th place with the Jubel Relicants, whose coach is Nasser. He's in the Omega Division. He's 1-1 so far. He's had a pretty solid season, I'd say, up to this point for a newcomer. His first battle was against me. It was a 5-0 loss. It's really, actually, a really good battle, and the score doesn't reflect that at all, in my opinion. It's just back and forth, and then in the end, it was just a full chrono sweep, and then he had a really good win in his second round match against Jello, or St. Louis Rampardos. He had picked up a 3-0 win. It's really good for him. And his upcoming matches, he has the Toronto Tyrannotars, who's Giovanni, and in round 4, he's got last season's champion, who's Matt. His team MVP so far is Hitmonchan with 6 points. His record's 1-1 with a -2 differential. In 14th place, we have the Baltimore Braviaries, who's under the radar YT. Kelly's a pretty good battler. He's in the Omega Division, and in the first round he lost 2-0 to Surrey Litheo. In the second round he won 2-0 against the Baltimore Bisharp, so he's a 0 differential. He's a really good battler, and I know that he's going to study and do his homework and stuff like that to see speed ties, damage calcs, all that good stuff. But he is using some lower tier Pokemon, so it really hurts him in my opinion. He can definitely work with him, and he has Rampardos, who's obviously got a great attack stat. He's got really just hard-hitting moves, and he's a great Pokemon altogether with a pretty solid move pool, but it'll just be interesting to see how he can try to use his lower tier Pokemon to compete against mainly OU and UU Pokemon. 15th place with the St. Louis Rampardos is Jello Hot Dog W2F1. He's in the Omega Division also. In his first round match, he had a 6-0 win versus the Toronto Tyrannotars, and in his second round match, he had a 3-0 loss against Jubel Relicants. In his first round match, Jello battled really well. He just had a Tyranitar, his Mega Tyranitar set up, Dragon Dances, and he was just able to sweep from there. In the second round match, he just lost a pretty good game against Nasser, or Nasri. It was really back and forth, and just one key play at the end by Nasser ended up winning him the game. Upcoming for Jello, he's in round 3. He has got a battle with Surrey Litheo, who's Matt, who's last league's champ, and in round 4 he's got a battle with Baltimore Bisharps, which is Riley. His team MVP so far is the Mega Tyranitar, who is got 20 points. So he's just got a ridiculous amount of kills already. I think that's 7 with 1 death, and he's got a 1-1 record with a +3 differential. 16th place with the Toronto Star Raptors, who's Hitman Sam 91. He's competing in the Alpha Division this season. He's a newcomer to the league. In his first round match, he had a 2-0 loss against the Cleveland Cavaliers, or Bogut. He battled pretty well, and Bogut was just able to sweep him at the end with his Bisharp. In round 2, he had a 2-0 win against San Francisco Darkrai's. He had a pretty good win. It was a pretty back and forth game. He just didn't play overly well, in my opinion, but I think that he's going to build on that. He's going to do better as the season goes on. In round 3, he has to battle the Tennessee Raichus, which is Shadow. And in round 4, he has to battle the JJD Hernandez, LA Nanu Kings. So he's got 2 really tough matches coming up. So it's going to be interesting to see how he tries to counter those teams. His team MVP so far is Mega Tyranitar with 5 points. His record's 1-1 with a differential of 0. 17th place with the Baltimore Bishops are at 2015 Just Riley. He's competing in the Omega division this season. In round 1, he had a 4-0 win against Chuchu or Chicago Flareons. Riley just outplayed him, in my opinion. He had a pretty solid battle. In round 2, he had a 2-0 loss against the Baltimore Braviaries. That was pretty much a toss-up battle, in my opinion. They both played pretty well. It's just in the end, Kelly was able to win it. In round 3, I battle Riley, and then in round 4, he battles Jello at St. Louis Rampardos. Riley's team MVP so far is Jolteon at 26 points. His record's 1-1 with a -2 differential. In 18th place, we have the Toronto Trinitars, or T-Tars, who's at PokeProfiles, which is Jabani. He's competing in the Omega Division this season, and in round 1, he just got swept by Jello. He didn't really have a counter for the Mega Trinitar after he set up some Dragon Dances. And then in round 2, he had a really good 1-0 win against Norland Chuckles, who's Ryan. That was really just back and forth battle, and Ryan just had a hard time coping with the Urban Cut. In his round 3 match he is coming up, he's got a battle of Jabel Relicants, which is Nasser. In round 4, he's got the California Keracostas versus Texto. So those will both be really good matches. I can't wait to watch them. In his team MVP so far is Jordan Cut with 5 points. His record's 1-1 with a -5 differential. 19th place with the Chicago Flareons is Chuchu 13. He's in the Omega Division this season. In his first round match, he had a loss against the Baltimore Bishops, which was Riley. Riley just outplayed him all game, but I think Chucho's starting to get the hang of things. As you can see, he had a 2-0 win against Shield of Aegis, which was Kira. It was a good 2-0 win. Chucho made some smart plays, and he brought a pretty good team. His upcoming matches in round 3, he's got the Poirier Arcanines, which is Nuclear Android. In round 4, he's got the New Orleans Chuckles, which is Ryan. His team MVP so far is Togekiss with 5 points, with a record of 1-1, and his differential is -2. In 20th place, we have the Detroit Pensives, which is at Green Scrafty. He's competing in the Alpha Division this season. Rudy has a pretty good team, but he's just been outplayed so far, in my opinion. In round 3, he lost to JJD Hernandez. Rudy tried bringing in too weird of a set from what I could see, and it cost him the game with his Gliscor. And then in round 2, he had a 3-0 loss against the Red Rhydons, which is Do Justice or Ab. Against Ab, he kind of had some hacks, but it was I think the Ab deserved the win. In his upcoming matches in round 3, he's got to battle the Welchion, which is Freedomion, and that'll be a really tough battle for him because Freedomion's undefeated so far, and he's a really good battler. And then in round 4, he's got the New Jersey Magnums, which is Brile. His team MVP so far is Keldeo with 7 points. He's got an 0-2 record and a -6 differential. In 21st place with the New Orleans Chuckles, whose coach is R Hunter N or Orion. He's competing in the Omega Division this season. As many of you know, he's got a YouTube channel. In the first round match, he had a tough loss against Poirier Arcanines or Nuclear Android. I think that Nuclear really deserved the win. He just got outplayed a little bit. Ryan battled well, in my opinion, but he did get outplayed. And then in round 2, he had a 1-0 loss against Toronto Trinitars, which is Jabani. And it was a really good battle, really back and forth. It could have gone either way, but Ryan just made one play at the end that really cost him. In his upcoming matches, in round 3, he's got the California Keracostas, which is Texto. In round 4, he's got the Chicago Flareons, which is Chucho. His team MVP so far is Skarmory with 4 points. His record is 0-2 with a -4 differential. In 22nd place with the New Jersey Magnums is at the Effecto 9. That's Brile, and he's competing in the Alpha Division this season. His round 1 loss was a pretty tough match against Tennessee Raichus, which is Shadow. He battled pretty well. It's just Shadow just outplayed him. Shadow always has crazy sets. He brought in Attract, Garchomp, and just crazy things like that. So you just always have to expect the unexpected against him. And then in round 2, he had a 6-0 loss against the LA Noodle Kings. JJD Hernandez just outplayed him all game. It wasn't really a sweep. It was just his team really got outclassed because I felt that Brile just drafted a really, really weak team for this. He's new to the league, and I think that he'll get better as the season goes on. I think he's going to keep making adds and drops to try to improve his team, so it'll be interesting to see. In round 3, he's got to battle Do Justice or Ab, who's the Rider Rhydons. In round 4, he's got to battle Detroit Pensives, which is Rudy. His team MVP so far is Rotom Heat with 4 points. His record is 0-2 with a differential of -9. 23rd place with the Shield of Aegis, or at Shiny Kalos, since it's Kira. He's competing in the Omega Division this season. He's a newcomer to the league. On round 1, he had a 4-0 loss against the California Keracostas, which is Texto. Texas just outplayed him all game, in my opinion. And then in round 2, he had a pretty even match against Chicago Flareons, which is Chucho. It really was back and forth, and just Chucho ended up just winning the game. He made some smart plays at the end that really helped him. Coming up for Kira in round 3, he's got to battle the Baltimore Braviaries, which is Kelly. In round 4, he has to battle me. His team MVP so far is Landers Therian with 10 points. His record's 0-2 with a -6 differential. 24th place with the San Francisco Darkrai's is at Main 3 Spider. He's competing in the Alpha Division this season. His first game was against Corey, and he just got swept by Sharpedo. He said that he forgot about Speed Boost on Sharpedo, and it just really, really cost him there. He just got swept. There's not too much he could do about it. In round 2, he had a 2-0 loss against Toronto Staraptors, which is Sam. There was a really just back and forth battle because Man3 Spider brings a hyper offensive team. I don't think he drafted a single wall other than Diancie, so he's just got to learn to work with that if that's the kind of team that he's going to try to use this season. His upcoming matches, he's got round 3 is versus San Antonio Shinx, which is Chris. In round 4, he's got the Florida for Alligators, which is Jody. Both of those guys are really good. Like, they have really good teams and really good battlers, so he's got to definitely step up his game if he wants to try to get a win anytime soon. And his record so far is 0-2 with a differential of -8. So that concludes the first power rankings for the LBA this season. I'm going to try to do this once every 2 rounds. So it's not going to be once a week necessarily. It's going to be approximately once every 6 days, and I'll try my best to get it out the night that the round ends or the very next night. It just depends on when I get the battle codes in and when I'm able to watch it and score all the matches and stuff. I hope that everybody realizes that these are all just my opinion, and they're obviously not set in stone rankings or anything like that. I'm just trying to give people on the outside and people in the opposite divisions a good idea as to who are the biggest threats in the league and who I feel are the biggest threats, because some of these teams, they people really know what they're doing. They do their homework. They bring really good teams. Other teams that are weaker, they have like solid teams, but they just don't do their enough homework in my opinion, and they don't know like calcs or who's faster and stuff like that. And they don't know to bring really weird sets to throw off their opponent. Like, we have people like Shadow who on paper might not have drafted the strongest team, but knowing what he can do with a team like that is terrifying to me. So it's just stuff like that. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed.